Hello. So here we're going to talk about how to multiply fractions together. So let's consider 2/3 times, let's do 2/5. Or maybe we should do 3/5 so that we just have a little bit different numbers. So again, I'm going to use here the dot for multiplication. As you move into higher level mathematics, you're going to want to stop using the cross, because that, as you get into variables, that's x, right? So you can't tell the difference. So we're going to stop using that, and we're going to be using either the dot, or we could write this as notation-wise, we could do the parentheses to indicate multiplication. But anyway, the process we'd like to do is multiply these two fractions together. When we multiply fractions, we multiply across the top and we multiply across the bottom. So 2/3 times 3/5. 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 5 is 15. So that is how I multiply fractions. And then once you've reached this step, you usually need to simplify that fraction. It depends on your class and what you're doing as to whether you need to do it by hand or in your calculator. If you're allowed to use your calculator, that's awesome. Do so. And your instructor should be able to show you how to make your calculator simplify fractions. But if you need to do it by hand, we need to find a common factor. So I usually just pick something that I know will work and then iterate. So I'm going to start with 3 because I know 3 goes into 6 as well as into 15. So in order to simplify this, 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So the final answer here will be 2/5. That is how you multiply fractions. Multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom. I want to talk just a little bit about what we're doing, maybe use a word problem just to help you to visualize what's happening. So let's say I'm going to look at this 2/3 number, and I'm going to say it's Thanksgiving, and we have some pie, and there's 2/3 of the pie left, right? So I'm starting with 2/3 of a pie. But we didn't just have one pie. What we're actually doing when we multiply by fractions is I'm doing 2/3 times 3 divided by 5, right? That's what's happening. That's the process that's being described by the multiplication of these two fractions. So if I have 2/3 of a pie, so I brought pumpkin, we have 3 pies total. I brought pumpkin, my brother brought apple, and my sister brought banana cream pie, right? We have a lot of pie for Thanksgiving. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying, well, there's 2/3 of each pie left. I had 3 pies. So first I'm multiplying by 3 to see how much pie I have total. And then I'm dividing it by 5. Maybe that's the total number of people we have, whatever. That's the number of people. And then we know how much pie everyone has left over. So that's kind of what's happening. When I do 2/3 times 3, when we multiply by whole numbers, we multiply only the numerator. So 2 times 3 is 6 divided by 3. That denominator stays the same. 6 divided by 3 is a whole number. That's actually just 2. So if I had 2/3 of a pie for 3 different pies, that means I have 2 whole pies left. And then I still need to divide by 5. That gives me 2/5 of a pie if 5 people are going to take it home, or whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to do that just to show a little bit of kind of what's happening. But the actual process that you will do repeatedly is going to be multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom. Thanks so much.